Hello there, my name is Old Sauce Boss, some people call me Bruce, and this is my semi-supreme one-chunk Ironman, Grim Chunker. Starting out of Keldagrim, I'm on a mission to complete everything in RuneScape one chunk at a time. If you haven't seen the last episode, go watch it because I explain all the rules there, and I'm about to spoil it right now. Previously on Semi-Supreme. We got all the drops from dwarves, got 92 mining, greenlogged the Motherlode mine and mining guild, burned out, and got 99 smithing. Last time we finished with 68 tasks complete, it should have been 71. The rock golem counts as 2 clog slots, the mining gloves are also a best in slot, and I counted the number 63 twice, so we are starting this video with 71 tasks complete. I said last time on day 3 we were going to take a fork in the road. Well, this is the path less traveled. We're going over the rest of the journey that took place and a little bit beyond. As a quick reminder, the main task left to finish the Keldagrim chunk are to get every drop possible in this chunk, get 89 crafting to make Amethyst start tips, and buy some bank space. Before I roll back to that day, I think it's important to come clean about a few things. When I was a young lad watching my childhood hero Seer Supreme make content, I did not want to be a semi-supreme. I was planning on being a supreme. That decision came actually in the middle of this chunk after reviewing the rules and seed table drops and determining what was best for me. Sometimes you don't fully understand the implication of rules until you come face to face with them. I feel good about the rule set and don't plan to make any major changes from here on out. So, in this video you'll see some super inefficient and unnecessary kills because I was going for the drop from every creature at first before I audibled to getting just one of each drop. This saved me maybe a week or two tops in this chunk, but decades in future chunks. Anywhoosies, enough yapping, let's go back to February. This is really where I started my combat grind by doing what any account would do, grinding crabs. Rock crabs, as most people know, automatically attack you for 10 minutes before you leave the area and come back. They have low attack stats and high hit points. This makes for a pretty relaxed AFK combat training method. The rock crab drop table is pretty straightforward. Some of these items I've already received from dwarves, so really we just have 11 items we need to get here. But more importantly, we need to get our combat levels up for the other monsters. We got the oyster drop and completed a Fremnik achievement diary task to kill 5 rock crabs. Then we knocked out seaweed, fishing bait, an easy clue we can't do, an empty oyster, all on the way to finally hitting 30 hit points. Opal bolt tips, iron pickaxe. I apparently got edible seaweed at some point and didn't clip it. And we finished this session off with 30 defense. This was about 45 minutes of killing crabs, and we finished 8 of our 11 tasks. When I needed something super AFK, I would come to the blast furnace. At level 30 strength, you can pump the blast furnace for about 12k XP an hour, only clicking once every 25 minutes. There are 2 worlds where people pump because to do this, you need someone stocking coke into the furnace. It's a very common training method for pures and PKers because it's AFK and you gain no hit point experience. I highly recommend turning off public chat if you're going to be here though. We got to 46 strength here, and at this point crabs are definitely more efficient, but I'm still going to use the pump occasionally because it doesn't even require me to click every 10 minutes, just kind of move the screen once every 25 so I don't get locked. Back at crabs, we got the spinach roll drop, the oyster pearl, and the casket. We've officially completed their drop table in 162 kills, and we got a sapphire from the rare drop table. Nothing had a higher drop rate than 128, so this is probably about an expected kill count to get everything from their table. Next on our pathway to utterly destroy everything that walks in this chunk are scorpions. They only drop 2 things, an ensouled scorpion head and a beginner clue scroll, which we already have. We knocked that out quickly and upgraded ourselves to mithril armor before taking out a dwarf gang member who only drops bones. We got 40 attacks so we can eventually use rune items, and using the knives we made while smithing, decided to get a little bit of range training. We're definitely going to need more knives. I went ahead and decided to upgrade my weapon to an Addy longsword and realized I never talked to the stonemason, which is a task here for the Fremnik diary, so we completed that. Now there's 4 major creatures left: king scorpions, blackguards, blackguard berserkers, and mountain trolls. The king scorpion and regular scorpion have the same drop table, so I just need to kill one. The blackguards and blackguard berserkers have identical drop tables and share a number of items with mountain trolls. We're probably a bit underpowered to kill these guys, but we'll give it a shot, try to kill a blackguard, and see how it goes. Okay, I got my first kill and I didn't clip it. We tried flinching and we definitely need food and some upgrades. So I bought an Addy Warhammer, which has better crush stats, and some Addy armor. I struggled to set up this flinch again. This probably is not the best place. Still didn't clip killing it, but we got the Iron Warhammer. We're definitely underpowered, so I went back to rock crabs to train some more and got up to 45 attack. My best food options here are cakes and stews. Cakes can be bought from the bakery stall, but cost 75 GP, which is more than any other bakery stall. So we're talking 6.25 GP per hit point, while stews only heal 11, but cost 20 GP or 1.8 GP per hit point. These do have to be manually bought one at a time, but this is pretty much how I'll get food for the rest of this chunk. It's just way more efficient. I actually remembered to clip getting the kill, and we got a bronze warhammer. We got a myth scimitar from the mystery box. This one is a chunk classic, usually one of the best weapons someone can get. Due to the weirdness of how important speed can be in combat, this myth scimitar is actually going to be better than my Addy weapons for training on rock crabs, and might even be better against dwarves when I'm not flinching. Hopefully I get smithing up soon and I can get an adamant scimitar as an upgrade. I originally had a rune longsword task and a bronze longsword task. The rune longsword task was because it was a best in slot flinch. The bronze longsword task was because all longswords have the same defense bonuses, and it was a best in slot tank weapon for me. So it just chose the one with the lowest possible requirements. At some point the map picker updated and combined those into a single task because the rune longsword has the same defense bonuses. So now instead of 2 tasks, I just have the rune longsword task. So task complete, but the task no longer exists. So really we did nothing. Cool. Anyways, I did more blast furnace pumping and got 55 strength, then immediately went and annihilated a king scorpion. So task complete. For real this time. Apparently you can rake this patch before starting the forgettable tail quest, but the weeds never grow back. So it's just 12 XP to farming. This is now August when I'm editing this video, and the weeds still have not grown back. They do not grow back. If you want some form of confirmation of the time, there's my 99 smithing complete chunk thing. Close out the first month with 60 strength and 15 prayer. We started out the new month getting 45 defense. At this point, I was still going for drops from the King Scorpion. We went and bought a rune longsword and are now ready to go back after the blackguards. This is a lot more manageable. Flinching is still our best choice, but we got the keg of beer, bucket of water, grimy Guam, killed our first blackguard berserker, got a medium clue, cake, and ring mold. And these beds are much easier for flinching than whatever I was doing at the bank. That's a lot of tasks complete, and I apologize. We're going to interrupt this Drop Fest montage to bring you crafting training. Training crafting in this chunk is weird. Our first major objective should be to get to level 20. We got a lot of sapphires from gem bags at the Motherlode mines, so if we get to that point, we can cut those, and that'll get us a decent number of further levels. If you look at Keldagrim, the most obvious choice for level 1 crafting is going to the crafting supply stalls and buying a ball of wool for 3 GP each, then walking over to the silver stall and buying an unstrung symbol for 300 GP each, and stringing the symbol to make an unblessed symbol for 4 crafting XP. That's 1,118 unblessed symbols costing under 339,000 coins just to get to level 20. This is how everyone does crafting here. This is what the map says, and this is what I expected the grind to be until one day I was watching fellow chunker Lunatar. He mentioned in his fun facts section an abandoned minigame called Keldagrim Tasks. The way Keldagrim Tasks works is there are 6 shopkeepers and the rowdy dwarf around Keldagrim. At any given time, one of these dwarves has a task for you. There's no way to find out who it is outside of going to each of them and asking. Whoever is assigned the task will ask you to bring them a random number of an item, and once you do, you get the choice between coins or XP. The experience type is related to whatever you bring. For example, you might get a task from Sorrow. Sorrow will ask you to bring 3 silver ore. If you do, you'll have the choice between 150 GP or 75 mining XP per item. Out of these 7 individuals, 2 have tasks that can get you crafting experience. Agmundi, who normally sells clothes, or Gunslick, the general shopkeeper. Unfortunately, I can't do all of these crafting tasks. I have no way to get wool, a knife, a bowl, or an oil lamp, and I can only get bronze arrows and gold necklaces from random events. Luckily, once you know a task, you can cancel it, and then game will randomly assign you a new task giver. While world hopping and logging both also reset tasks, you can't do this until you talk to the task giver anyways, so just canceling is easier. This won't be amazing XP per hour, but this will be my best method for 20 crafting without spending a bunch of money on unblessed symbols. Crafting levels inbound. We're getting all of our crafting levels from this. I did find one slight bug with this. If you start the giant dwarf quest, part of the quest requires you to speak to Sorrow and Santiri, 2 of the task-giving dwarves. If you haven't finished this part of the task, the dialogue prompts are based on the quests and they'll never actually ask you to get any items. This sounds great. The number of storekeepers you can talk to goes down. Nope. It seems they still get assigned as the task giver, but because you talk to them without accepting the task, it assumes you rejected it and assigns a new task giver. So if you go and talk to the other 5 and they aren't the task giver, you have to go talk to Sorrow and Santiri and hope it's not cycling between the 2 of them, which sometimes happens because you have no way of knowing for sure. This resulted in me cycling through all 7 dwarves 2 or 3 times, trying to reset it to a dwarf I could see, and then a couple more cycles to get a crafting task. Sometimes spending half an hour or so running around just trying to get a task I could do. I tried to stock my inventory with a couple instances of different items so I could instantly complete the task. The best tasks were when Gunslick gave a pestle, mortar, rope, or pot, because I could just buy those from his store and give them back to him. I did this all the way to 20 crafting, and realistically it probably took me close to 12 hours. The tracker says I got 3.8k XP per hour, but the tracker pauses after 5 minutes of inactivity, so it doesn't account for me running around. I also wasn't perfectly focused and efficient. I think up to level 20 this is a fine method and much cheaper than the unblessed symbols, but I would not recommend it past level 20. The final 500 XP took me about an hour and a half to get. So as you level up, it's going to get even worse. At level 20, we can finally cut the sapphires we got from gym bags. I have 166 sapphires. This gets us up to level 29, and then we can cut the 91 emeralds we have to get up to 33 crafting, just shy of the rubies. We're going to divert back to the drop table grinds and cover the rest of crafting at the very end. This may seem like a normal random, but this random is actually massive. This is our final item we need. We have finally greenlogged randoms. This was not a task, not part of the plan, but once we got the stale baguette on day 2, it was pretty much guaranteed. So that's really cool to see. So I decided to kill crabs, and then when I needed to reset them, come into the tunnel and flinch a mountain troll to get a little dopamine of checking off some tasks. The trolls, in addition to the famous 1 in 5k curved bone and 1 in 400 long bone drops, have the seed table, which includes a 1 in 7,000 Torstal seed drop. Luckily, 7,000 trolls is about how many we need to get to 52 prayers, so that actually works out. We got our very first mountain troll kill and some big bones and a black warhammer. Our next couple kills, we got a Law Rune, Steel Medhelm, Irrit Leaf, Terramin Seed, and a Limpwort Seed. That's 7 tasks completed. Knocked out 60 defense and 60 hit points. We're looking pretty beefy. pretty healthy at this point. A loop half key, that's part of the rare drop table, and a task complete. Marintal Seed, Nature Rune, Grimy Quorum, and Grimy Terramin. 2 herbs that we haven't gotten from the blackguards yet. Then we go on a seed run, getting the Cactus, Strawberry, Aventode seeds, and a Grimy Aventode. These seeds and herbs will be really helpful later on when we eventually get a farming or herblore grind. If we happen to get an allotment and herb patch, we're gonna have a pretty solid stack for doing that. So that's pretty exciting because we are gonna have to eventually try to get the Tangle Root. There's no way. That's 39 kills. And I got the Longbone. I know that's not the rare one, but that's still wild. Oh my god, and the Steel Warhammer. So that's 2 items checked off. There it is. That's wild. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So cool to get. Back at Blackguards, we knocked out a beer before returning to Trolls. I think this is the last unique item we need from Blackguards, and everything else we can get from Trolls. At Trolls, we got a Grimy Lantodime. That's another task complete. I ran into someone with weirder gear than me. I did not expect that. The multiple metals, when they can obviously wear Addy, the sulfur blades, hats off to them. They're probably having a great time, and that's really all that's important. I don't run into a lot of accounts down here, but they're always fascinating. They're always mains with some of the oddest gear setups I've ever seen, just trying to do a Slayer task. I don't have a way to make these drops more interesting, so we're just gonna rattle them off. Trollhead, Earth Rune, Grimy Ranarweed, Haralander, Cadentine, 25 prayer and 75 strength. I think my notes say try to do Pokemon, and I think it turned out like Billy Joel. Whatever. That's a bunch of tasks complete and some nice levels, and it's also the end of March. I really focused in on smithing during April, as you may remember, so a couple of one-off items from April. 40 range, which is a task. Our final step for the Giant Dwarf quest for this chunk did require 12 crafting, so we could have done that a little while ago, but we can go ahead and knock that out since we got sapphires earlier and put these in the axe handle. That is a task complete. We have progressed the dwarf quest as far as we can go. The rest of the quest requires magic, thieving, and being able to go to Thurgo, so we're not going to complete this quest for a while. And we got 30 prayer to end out April. It was a pretty simple month. But not as simple as May. Here is my only combat clip from May. I did not play in May. If you recall from the last session what happened in May. I came back in the middle of June. I really wanted to split focus so I didn't burn out and spent more time killing trolls as opposed to zeroing in on just smithing. So we had a really good run of drops, including the Wild Blood Seed, Watermelon Seed, Torstal Seed, Grimy Mantle. Hold up, rewind that back. The Torstal Seed is 1 in 7k, and we got it on kill 99? My reaction in the original clip was as if I got a Toadflax Seed or a Terramin Seed, which, to be fair, maybe that's what I thought it was at the time. Like, at first, I had to have realized that was the 1 in 7k drop. I don't know why I reacted so chill to it at the time. It probably was at like 1 or 2 in the morning, so my wife was probably asleep, and I probably was just like, oh, that's so cool, and forgot to actually turn my mic on. Getting the Torstal Seed this early is insanely lucky, and if we go on rate for everything else, actually cuts off probably close to 2k kills from trolls. We still need to get the prayer levels, but there may be faster ways than trolls to level up prayer. We'll talk about that if it becomes relevant. Once again, just rattling off drops. Grimy Marintil, like I said previously. Raw Mackerel, which is the only cookable thing here. There are a ton of ranges, but mackerel does require 10 cooking, but we're probably going to build up a decent number of these. Addy Medhome, Ranar Seed, Irrit Seed, Addy Warhammer, Grimy Dwarfweed, Toadflax Seed, and 75 strength. This is honestly knocking out a ton of tasks and really setting us up for future grinds. That is one benefit of the go for every drop from every monster, is it forces you to do the herb and seed table drops over and over again, which is great for training later on. But that good feeling of getting resources will go away, especially when you know you have a more efficient way to get those items. I also do not know how in the world I would do this edit of getting the seed and herb tables every single time. Because this is horrible. Like, if anyone is really into drop table content, let me know in the comments, because I'm so afraid this is going to be really boring. Speaking of seeds, we also got the snapegrass seed, and we got our first protection prayer. There's no altar in this chunk, so it doesn't matter too much since we can't recharge, but it's still nice to have. Snapdragon seed, that is a 1 in 1.4k. A potato cactus, which is a 1 in 880. 40 prayer, and then to round out the month, a lantadime, which is another really rare seed at 1 in 2,300. We have killed 2001 trolls. Some callouts here I don't have clips for are the Uncut Ruby, the Tooth Half of Key, and the Rune Javelins, all from the gym drop table. And then from Mountain Trolls themselves, the Chaos Talisman, Belladonna Seed, Haralander Seed, Jangerberry Seed, Quorum Seed, Mithril Square Shield, Mushroom Spore, Poison Ivy Seed, and Whiteberry Seed. I think I got a lot of these on maybe my phone or another device while traveling, and I just didn't clip it, so you can see them all in the drop table over on the right. This means we're only missing the Curved Bone, the Dwarf Seed, the Cadentine Seed, and the Uncut Diamond. Between 5,000 crabs, 3,000 blackguard dwarves, and 2,000 trolls, we really should have the Uncut Diamond by now, and we are past the rate for the Cadentine Seed. We still need about 5,000 more troll kills to hit 52 prayer. Like I said, if we finish early, there might be a faster way to train prayer than mountain trolls, and we still obviously need to finish our crafting grind as well. We got 43 prayer for protect from melee, 90 combat, 45 prayer, and 80 strength with no new drops. Oh,
hell yeah.
What? No way. Oh my god, it's really late and I was getting water. That was at about 4,800 KC, so just under rate. We're getting really lucky, even though we still don't have the Cadentine or Dwarf Seed, both of which have much lower drop rates than where we're at, and the Diamond from the rare drop table, which we should have gotten 4 or 5 times, probably at least. 49 prayer before we hit 5,000 troll kills. We just hit 5,000 troll kills. We need about 2,000 more to hit 52 prayer, so hopefully we can get all the drops before then. Uncut Diamond. Oh my gosh, it's so rare to get a drop. That feels good. 2 more drops. 50 prayer. The race between drops and prayer is getting tight. Dwarf Weed Seed at kill 5,903. We need about 2,000 more to hit 52 prayer, and we are still missing the Cadentine Seed, which has a drop rate of 1 in 1,765. There's no world where I would have predicted this would be the last drop we get, since there's multiple much rarer drops. Also, try saying Dwarf Weed Seed 10 times really fast and let me know if you're able to do it, because I can barely say it once. I died. I wasn't paying attention. This is the second time I died, so we definitely are not a hardcore. 51 prayer. Will we get the seed before 52? I hope so. Got it. Oh my god, we got it. We're done. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was editing the first video. Oh my god. Oh, we just need prayer and crafting. 6,283. So overall, for the whole drop table, we actually went lucky. That's it. Let's go get 52 prayer. That completes all the drops in this chunk. We just need 52 prayer. For reference, we completed 99 smithing about a week and a half ago at this point, so it's late July, about to turn August. For prayer, I originally thought that killing a bunch of dwarves was the best way to do this, as I could kill them pretty quickly and didn't need food. I did this for a little while. I was traveling for work this week, so I didn't get a whole lot done, and ultimately realized I should just lamp the last level, that will be way easier, and I'll get lamps while doing crafting. Speaking of crafting, how have I been draining crafting, and how am I planning on getting level 89? Great questions. Thank you for asking them. At level 30, we gained access to the ability to repair the blast furnace pipes. How this works is as people pump the pipes have a chance to break. The more people pumping, the more likely it is to break. When one breaks, you can then repair it with a hammer and gain 50 crafting experience. There are 2 pipes that can break, and so if you are running back and forth repairing the 2 of them, you can get upwards of 40,000 crafting XP an hour doing this, but realistically around 35 to 38,000. In order to have the best chance of pipes breaking and gaining XP, you have to do this on the pumping worlds, which there's only 2 of in the game, making this incredibly easy to get crashed at. Someone else shows up, usually it's a UIM or a fellow chunker, and they're paying attention and both worlds are busy. You can usually work out splitting the pipes. This drops your XP to around 30,000 an hour, and that's fine, right? It's fine. Sometimes you get people who just don't want to cooperate, and as opposed to trying to compete and focus up and be like, I just go find something else to do. I don't have the time or energy to argue with people at the blast furnace. Lastly, the pipes are weirdly connected to the pedal boxes. So if someone's pedaling, the pedal boxes and gears will break, and the pipes will stop breaking until you fix the gears and box. This can really mess up your flow, which is mildly frustrating since you can pedal on any world. So little PSA, if you're planning to pedal, go to a different world. In order to combat this, I eventually set up my Ironman at the boxes by the pedal, but this did mean I had to kind of be paying attention, clicking between the different boxes for usually much worse XP rates. I actually set up a foot pedal for this and just lined everything up so I could fix between the 2 and removed the clicks on people and the pump and the wall. So I was only able to click on the 2 pipes. Once the smithing grind was over, I was able to do this during work. I'm a pretty restless person, so just foot pedaling came pretty natural, and I was able to get around 200 to 250,000 XP during work. And then after work, I would go kill trolls. And once the troll killing was done, I kind of focused in on just this. Doing this method, I got up to 82 crafting before July ended. This puts me in an interesting position as I could now make amethyst items. I think amethyst arrows will be super useful later on, so I'm going to wait till 84 crafting to make them. So when I need something really chill and AFK, I did do amethyst mining. Between the gym bags and the amethyst itself, this was incredibly slow XP. It worked out to around 6.5k XP per hour doing this. But the additional mining XP will be nice eventually and really gave me something to do if the pipes were crash or I needed to edit or just chill and use my computer for something else, or I just wanted to watch a video or whatever. And I actually gained 93 mining off of this, a whole level just from mining amethyst. We got 84 crafting and I can now make amethyst arrowheads, which is what I'm going to use almost all of my amethyst for. We got 85 crafting, 86 crafting. We lamped prayer to level 52, activating smite and finishing that task, meaning we only have 2 tasks left. 87 crafting, 88 crafting, 1 more level, which we will wrap up with the chunk roll. One item I haven't addressed and was asked a lot in the last video is the onyx. The onyx from gym bags is a meme, even for Supremes. We're talking centuries before going on rates. So I'm backlogging it. I don't really like backlogging things and ignoring them. So what I will do is 10 gym bags a chunk until we unlock Falador East with shooting stars and the store there. Then I will commit to 20 gym bags a chunk, which we will open before we roll. So I'll get them over the lifespan of the chunk. Then when it's time to roll, we'll just open all the gym bags we have, see if we got the onyx, move on. In this chunk alone, we opened over 40 gym bags. I decided to head over to the bank to do the 2 final tasks. 89 crafting, I can now make amethyst darts, so let's do that, and chunk task complete. Our final task is bank space. The rule, as Hannibal explained it to me, are you buy bank space whenever you unlock a new bank that sells it. So I have this banker here, and while I have 2 other banks, none of them sell bank space, so I only need to buy the first tier of bank space for 1 million gold. If I unlock the G or Falador, then I will need to buy the next tier of bank space. So let's buy it, and that is every chunk task complete. After almost 69 days of in-game time in this chunk, over 1,600 hours here, we are finally done. Oh gosh, it feels good. I wasn't sure if this was gonna happen, but it feels good. Let's go over the available chunks that we can roll and then do our roll. We have one free chunk to the east of our current chunk. This is a little bit of corner content and a small area outside the tunnel. Can't proceed up the hill, so there's nothing else to do here. Everywhere else has a guaranteed beaver grind. The chunks north and south both basically have the beaver grind and not much else. They are, however, far from a bank, so it might be worth it to unlock baby implings to get a knife and fletch while I cut trees. We'll see, because that puts me at risk for Puro later on. There are oak trees in the south chunk, so that's actually a pretty decent option. There's a lot of dead trees in the north chunk, so it's really not that bad. I do have the minecarts rollable. This is probably different from a lot of other Extreme Plus chunkers. They feel like an integral part to the identity of Keldagrim, so it would feel odd to me to exclude the minecarts. So with them, we can get to Falador, just north of Falador, and the Grand Exchange. So we have Falador. Falador East is the pet chunk. We will have to get high thieving, wood cutting, 99 mining, and high magic. And if we decide to unlock it, we will need to get the agility pet as well, meaning we have at minimum 2 pets, possibly 3 in that chunk, and we will be a lot closer to farming, surrounded by 2 new farming chunks. In my opinion, the Grand Exchange is the best possible chunk. It has trees really close to a bank and only the beaver grind. Plus, it takes us close to some cool grinds like 99 cooking, the Varrock and Edgeville dungeons, and Slayer. Lastly is the worst chunk. We can only really access the top part of this chunk where the dwarves are, and this chunk has 1 tree. It's hard to see because it's behind the words, but it has a single normal tree. I would need to get beaver from this tree, which would basically be continuous world hopping. This is the chunk I do not want. It may not be as long as the Falador East grind, but it is definitely worse. That's enough yapping. Let's go to the live stream to roll. All right, enough milking. Oh no. Oh, Falador. We're gonna go join Buzz, I guess. Well, I guess we're going to Falador. Can't wait to see how this goes. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support everyone gave me on the first video. It was insane to see. Not sure when the next video will be out, but hopefully I can get something out by early October. Again, thanks everyone, and remember to take care of yourselves. See ya.